Welcome to A Guide to Every Deck in Modern. Today we're looking at Dredge. Dredge is a graveyard-based aggro combo deck that plays very differently to most other decks. It seeks to aggressively mill itself using cards with Dredge enabled by Cathartic Reunion, Thrilling Discovery, and to a lesser extent, Otherworldly Gaze and Ox of Agonis. Reunion and Discovery are by far your best plays, first discarding 2 cards and then drawing, or rather dredging, tons of cards into your graveyard. Narcomoeba enters from the graveyard if milled, and Bloodghast can be returned by playing a land, both of which trigger Prized Amalgam to return. Similarly, Creeping Chill drains the opponent for 3 life, which triggers Silver's Moat Ghoul to return. Dredge's goal is to quickly reanimate multiple creatures and additionally drain the opponent's life with Chill and Conflagrate. You will normally be dredging rather than drawing, so cards you can use from your graveyard are at a premium. Notable examples are Otherworldly Gaze, Ox of Agonis, and Ancient Grudge. The deck is extremely linear, and playing it well mostly boils down to knowing which hands to keep and remembering your triggers. It also mulligans extremely well since all you need is 1 Dredge card and 1 Enabler. In fact, the deck is so fast and consistent that it's one of the few decks in any format that plays the short-term, painful land City of Brass, Mana Confluence, and Gemstone Mine. Sideboarding and how to beat it. Sideboard-wise, all the cards in the deck synergistically intermingle to make a well-oiled machine. You can't afford to cut too many of them for sideboard cards and should instead only lightly shave on cards. Counterintuitively, Cathartic Reunion is better than Thrilling Discovery against counterspells since it guarantees putting a dredger in the graveyard. The deck is very difficult to interact with by most decks' main boards. However, this all changes dramatically in Game 2 when Dredge is brutally shut down by graveyard hate. You need to bring in answers for their answers. Many of the cards you need to deal with, such as Rust in Peace or Scavenging Ooze, cost 2 mana, meaning Portable Hole is a more efficient play than Prismatic Ending. Other cards are harder to stop, such as Endurance. Which cards to bring in depend on knowing the matchup, but generally Graveyard Hate is going to take the form of either an artifact, enchantment, or creature. Because Dredge's creatures can continue to return from the graveyard, the deck is difficult to deal with using traditional non-exile based removal spells. Tips and tricks. Remember that Prized Amalgam returns on the next end step. If you have an instant speed way to dredge cards, do so in your opponent's second main phase rather than their end step. Note that you can't do this with Silver's Moat Ghoul since it triggers only at your own end step. It rarely comes up, but Silver's Moat Ghoul has a second ability that you can use to draw a card, or more likely, dredge a card. You can cast or flashback Otherworldly Gaze in your upkeep to bin dredgers or set up a draw. Similarly, you can cast Dark Blast in your upkeep if you don't have a dredger in the yard. If you need to kill a creature with 2 toughness, you can cast Dark Blast in your upkeep, dredge it, and cast it again. If you don't mill Creeping Chill, casting 2 Thrilling Discoveries will gain enough life to return Silver's Moat Ghoul. Golgari Thug's first ability hardly ever matters, however it's possible it might. Maybe you need a flying creature to block Inkmoth Nexus or something. Life from the Loam returns 3 cards that can be discarded to Conflagrate. Sometimes your graveyard will be shut down, but the opponent will have little to no pressure. You can win games by casting your creatures and Creeping Chills normally, similar to how Tron might ignore Blood Moon. I hope you've enjoyed this look at Dredge. I want to thank my fellow players in the Magic community for whom sharing their experiences helps make these guides possible. You can find additional resources, such as an up-to-date deck list, in the description. If you think I left out anything important or got something wrong, please leave your thoughts in the comments, and stay tuned to see what deck we look at next time.